Yo, this is Mike Lopez, Boulevard Connect, your only website dedicated to cars, culture, and community. And today's, I have a very special guest. You guys know him as Kobe, but I don't know if a lot of people know, but this is the man. This is one of the men, one of the guys that is in charge of something called Urban Con. And originally it started in Los Angeles, I think 2 years ago. Last year it was at the Ontario Convention Center, and it has been growing and growing ever since. Kobe, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for having me. Thank you for having me.
you know what, man? I'm gonna be. As I was telling you earlier, man. Urban Con. Like I didn't go to the first one. I think I was out of town when I saw that. But when I saw it pop up on at Ontario Convention Center, and of course I had the dolls troll on the Lolo, I was like, yo, I gotta hit up this show. That was my first time going to an Urban Con convention. I didn't know what to expect, but let me tell you, bro, my mouth dropped. Not only did I have a good time making that money, but meeting everybody, dude, it was such a great event. It was great vibes. People were cool, the music was cool, the car, you had vendors, you had what, like tattoo artists, wrestling, you had artists, you had fashion shows. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now you got another one coming up, and we're gonna get into that in a second. But dude, and which I'm gonna be attending that one. I'm for sure. I'm there. I think, what is it, October 19th?
Saturday, October 19th, the city of
Okay.
Santa Ana.
Man, but you know what, man, I love hearing people's stories. I watch CNNBC, and I like listening to all the CEOs, and I like listening to podcasts about people and how they did stuff, how they accomplished what they did. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's interesting to me, and I appreciate the hustle, because everybody had that has accomplished anything has failed over and over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the number one key component in success is actual taking and people often refer to it as a loss,
Mm,
but I would say that the L would be for lesson.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I don't think you ever really lose. I don't think you ever really lose. You just gain knowledge that you see, like if you were to want to do a different type of career, you would have to eventually go to school.
Hmm, hmm.
Okay. So, and to do that, you would have to pay for your education. And if you don't go to school, you will learn through experience, but it's
Absolutely.
going to cost you no matter which avenue you take, whether you take the educational route or you take the life experience route, the hard knocks, whatever you want to call it, either one is going to cost you.
Yeah.
So you're always paying for education.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's what I tell my son. He just went off to college. I'm like, yo, I want you to fail as much as possible right now, because of the earlier in life you fail, the more
They're off
time
you
you
are.
have, the more time you have to learn from those lessons and become more successful faster.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
yeah, I came from, from parents that, were immigrants. And, their only mentality was get good grades, go to school, and get a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure about you, but I know a lot of people in my community that's what we all we knew. That's all we knew. And if we didn't make that money, we got into trouble. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I mean, I went to 5 years of community college, bro, and I don't remember one fucking thing I've learned. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't in the mindset. I didn't have mentors around me. I didn't, I wish I would have had a Kobe around me. You know what I'm saying? Because then I would have listened to you and be like, all right, this guy's learned some things, but I didn't have nobody around me. And when I've actually did my research on you, you're like the Chicano Mark Cuban, bro, where you're dropping knowledge, bro. Like tiburon, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what? And it's I if you want, from what I've learned is you don't have to overcomplicate things so much. I think a lot of times it's like you can be complicated and technical. You can. You really can. Take for instance Jay-Z, the rapper.
Absolutely.
He got lyrics that you got to really stop and sit and listen and what's the word that dissect his
Yeah.
words, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll be sitting there and be like, oh, I get it. Okay, okay, I get what he said. He said, right? And he's one of the greatest rappers.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of the spectrum, you can listen to Too Short, and he has ABC uh bars, and it's just as good, and he's still considered one of the greats. So I think it's just in the way you apply it.
Mhm.
So oftentimes I always say, don't overcomplicate things. Keep it very simple. And when you make it simple, it makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Depending on your educational level too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like in the medical world, I'm a nurse, right?
Mhm.
And when I'm in the medical world, when we're talking to a patient, you cannot talk to a patient using medical terminology.
No.
You have to use basic word layman's terms
Yeah.
and
Layman's terms.
so that it's
Understandable.
understandable. So again, so I don't get off subject is keep it simple.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned Jay-Z because he literally, his album's called The Blueprint.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's right there.
yeah.
It's right there. I actually saw an interview with him. Like he offered, somebody said, you either get $2 million or you get business advice from Jay-Z. And one guy said, I'd sit down and get business. I mean, listen, get the 2 million and just listen to his albums because his albums tell you exactly how to do it.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent person.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
intelligent person.
So going back to you, man, I hear you ran strip clubs, you threw raves, and you were a rapper.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna look up some of the Spotify. I haven't been able to find it, but I'm gonna find it. But but dude, I love the story about here you are, you were bald, but you were selling pomade.
So it's in if you look at it from the outside looking in,
Uh-huh.
it's almost it's almost it's laughable, right?
Uh-huh.
But if you break down the actual story behind it,
Yeah.
you go, okay, this is interesting. And so it's not that I woke up one day just selling pomade, right? But what it was I was a barber
Yeah.
selling hair care products to my guys, that was cutting their hair, and they'd be like, "Hey, what do you suggest? What's a good gel? What's a good this? What's a good that?" And so learning the basically learning the market of pushing a product is when I said, "Well, if I can sell this product, then I could probably sell my own product." That that what I didn't know then that I realize now was pomade was my step into urban con. So although I started over here, it transitioned to over here. But I would have never got here had it not been for here.
Yeah.
And so your journey starts in one direction and then turns into a different direction.
And that's an example of what you said. You learn from those lessons. Everything
Yes.
contributes to where your success is now. Everything you did in the past, whether it was a W or an L, it contributes. I love I saw the story of how you know you found out how to make your own pomade. You white I think you white labeled it or something like that, which means
Yeah, so what I did was I was like, okay, I you could go to websites like see now from what I know, my approach would have been, see, you don't have to custom make stuff.
uh-huh.
That's the nobody cares. What people care about is brand. And obviously if the product is good, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you can buy already existing product and then brand it. And depending on your brand is who's going to purchase it, right?
Yeah.
You can go to you could some people prefer value and you could buy a big tub of gel like Moco the Gorilla or something like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those big jars of gel for $4. Or you can buy this little tiny squeezable tube for $20. Honestly, they're really doing the same thing. what it is just fragrance,
Yeah.
branding, and whatever. And so price point wise, it's just that's just all it really is.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
So so I yeah, so I start. I'm sorry, so I made my own brand, and then that was probably one of my first mistakes was customizing my own brand when I should have just Teresa, turn on the light, please. When I should have just simply just um bought private label, then branded it, and then I could have sold it. But again, these were things that I still wasn't prepared for.
Exactly. And again, lessons learned. And here you are driving cross country, taking like what, 35 boxes of pomade over to conventions on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, so it was really difficult at the time because in order to in order like in order to succeed, you almost have to look kind of foolish
Oh,
because
absolutely.
the what you're trying to do, you don't know if it's going to work. And so I really didn't know what I was doing. So I had to drive across the United States because these barber expos, and I thought if anybody's going to support me, it's going to be my barber fam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I'm out there when I learned, well, as I'm out there going to these conventions, they were like on the East Coast, and I was completely wrong. The people you think are going to be your supporting base
Uh-huh.
will not be that.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Because
did you find that out?
because my rude awakening was, Teresa, turn on these lights too. My rude awakening was getting there and hey guys, I'm a barber like you. Buy my brand. And they look at you, and then this is where the reality is that they learn that why am I going to put you on a pedestal when you're like me? I
Yeah.
want to buy from that person. I don't know who owns it, but I'd rather give my money to that person than to give it to you because by giving it to you puts you higher than me.
The hating mentality.
The hater mentality. And
Yeah,
it's
man.
very real because you're thinking innocently. You're not thinking like I'm just, hey, I'm a guy like you trying to do something bigger. Believe in me. But nobody's gonna fuck with you until you are now in the public eye and everybody fucks with you. Now it's cool to fuck with you.
Eh,
Until you reach that ladder of clout, in a sense, it
absolutely.
is
Absolutely.
when they're gonna acknowledge you.
And it's sad it works that way. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad it goes like that because it's like we're all trying to come up. And I always believe in it. Like, listen, if I come up, I'm bringing you with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, I'm going to push you up. When you get up there, you bring me along, and that's my mentality.
Right.
I think there's room for everybody. I think there's
And
room
there
for
is, there
yeah,
is, there is.
yeah.
I mean, you don't see like McDonald's slandering Carl's Jr., you know.
Uh-uh.
You don't see Chevron attacking Shell,
Nope.
but the thing is that I think in general, when you come from, especially when you're dealing with people when you're not coming from the good areas,
Yeah.
there's a lot of well, why should you be better than me?
Exactly. Exactly. And it goes down to mentality and the people you surround yourself with too. I think I
It does.
always tell my son, these are things that I always tell my son. I was like, you need to hang around with people who are better than you. You can't hang around people who are negative, who are going to pull you down or hold you back. You need to let those people go. I remember I saw an interview with Snoop Dogg talking to a young rapper saying, yo, if it's not your job to slow down for your friends, it's their job to keep up. You know what I'm saying? If they can't
Yeah.
keep up, you got to cut them loose no matter how hard it is. You can't think about them, unfortunately.
And that's going to be a constant occurrence.
Yeah.
It's going to be a constant occurrence to the point where like I'm almost like myself. I'm nothing. However, I'm almost inaccessible to everybody. You literally cannot get a hold of me. People try and try and try. And God bless
Oh,
Kicks.
trust me, I tried. I finally got a hold of you.
God bless kids, because kids gets the end of it. Like people like come at kids, like, hey man, I got, and but I, it's not that, it's not that I'm better because I'm not. It's just you get so wrapped up. Like I have this thing where I don't pay attention to anybody or anything. And I see it on the internet. I see a lot of people copy things that I'm doing. They liked how it works, so now they're gonna do their own version of it. That's great. That's a good thing because that
Yeah,
means that we're trying to evolve. And if I'm one that can set a bar and you can take it higher, then by all means, take it. Go, go,
yeah,
go, go. You know what I'm saying? But I get so stuck in focusing on what I'm trying to build that I literally just zone everybody out because at the end of the day, nobody's opinion matters but yourself.
absolutely, absolutely. There was an interview with Jimmy Iovine. You know who Jimmy Iovine is, right?
Musical
Interscope
record.
Records, the Beats. He says he's like, when I'm working, it's like I got horse blinders on. When I like horse racers, I mean, horses that are racing, they put
Yeah,
them on so they don't look right or left because if they do, they'll tumble and they'll fall and something bad could happen. It's like
it's
I'm like
very
a
true.
horse. I go forward. I'm not thinking about anything else, and that's great. That's great. So I understand that you were coming back. What you were coming back from one of your conventions of selling pomade, and you thought of Urban Con.
So,
The way
so
you're laughing, I was like, all right, see, I did my research, bro. I gotta do a little stalking on you.
no, what it is that so look, I'm a fan of culture, conventions. I'm a fan of it all.
Love it.
But no matter how much of a fan you are, these shows get very, very repetitive.
Mm,
Okay, no matter how cool it is, after about an hour, like if you go to a car show, there's a lot of beautiful cars, a lot of cool stuff. But about an hour, 2 hours, and you got all the excitement out of the way. Okay, now you're like, okay, I've done it all. And you go to a barber convention and you get there and you're like, okay, this is great. I talked to so and so, I met so and so. Okay, now what? So as I was going to all these different conventions, and I was new to it, I was new to it at this point. As I was going to all these different conventions, I started as a vendor. You have to remember, I'm a vendor at these
yeah,
conventions, and I have yet to make any money. I'm going cross country. Nobody's buying anything I'm selling. Like I'm selling $10, $12. I'm giving it away. Everybody's asking for samples,
yeah.
and I'm just not making any money. So I'd be like, my boy, whoever I took with me, I'd be like, hey, would you mind sitting here at the booth? I'm gonna go kind of walk around, see what I can see. So I'd walk around, I'd be like, all right, I'm kind of over it now. So about a year into going to different shows, and I mean every weekend I'm going to shows, meaning I'm not working now because
Right.
now I'm pulled away from my family at the time, I'm not working. I'm believing into this product. I look foolish, You don't think I wasn't embarrassed. And there I am selling hair care products and I'm bald headed and I'm just like, fuck, man. And then I got my kids wondering if when hey dad, when you coming home? When you coming home? When you coming home? And it takes two a week to three 2 to 3 days to get there. Go do the show for 2 days, 2 to 3 days to get back. You
Gas,
know,
money, energy.
gas money. I'm broke. I'm not in a good place. So I remember coming back from Miami. I did a barber show out in Miami, and it was so interesting because I had did a show in Las Vegas, and I took a model with me, a lowrider style model with me to the convention, to the show in Las Vegas. Shout out Mrs. Fatima Flawless.
What's up? Shout out.
And
I'm gonna
so,
I'm gonna look her up right now.
and she's a great person. We ended up becoming friends. She's a sweet person. So, okay, that's Las Vegas. I go to Miami to a show. Months later, and I get there and I pull up and I put on my banner. I pull out my table, my cloth, all my stuff, right? And some Puerto Rican guy goes, "You're that one brand that brought that lowrider model to the show." And I'm sitting there
What? That's what
like,
you remember?
like that. I was like taken back. Like, wow, like, okay. I go, "Were you there?" He said, "No, everybody talked about it in the barber community." Now this is barber community stuff. This is barber stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm in front. I look at my boy and I go, "Somebody recognized the brand
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of something we did." So I was like, okay, 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 okay. So we go to that show. I make $0.
Oh,
Fuck, man. I'm like, like, there's gotta be something here, man. Like, I'm like, fuck. So then I'm like, I'm using male models, I'm using female models, I'm trying everything, but none of it is actually making any real sense. So I pull over in Louisiana to rest. I'm on the 10 freeway west, come back towards Cali. And so I had gone to Avery Island. I'm a big fan of Tabasco hot sauce on
okay.
egg sandwiches,
There
right?
you go.
But it's tapatio all day, but
There you
Tabasco on eggs,
go.
right? And so Avery Island in Louisiana is where they make Tabasco sauce.
Okay.
So I pulled over. I was like, let me just rest and kick it. So I'm outside somewhere in those areas. I'm kind of lost, and I pull over in this back area, and there's mosquitoes everywhere. You could imagine how bad the mosquito
Yeah,
situation
yeah,
is down south. And so I had a candle and I lit it so I could roll the windows down because I know the smoke would irritate the mosquitoes and get out of the car. So I'm sitting there and it's like dusk and I can just see like fireflies and which is a really pretty sight to see. And I see gators just everywhere. Like they're like
Oh
feral
shit.
cats out there. There's like feral cats.
Really?
And I'm sitting there and I'm just looking at them. And I'm like, I'm looking at them, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I get off the car and I walk up to the gators. They're like on a bank.
Oh
And I'm
hell
sitting
no.
there and I'm just walking. I'm like, I'm frustrated. So I don't really care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really like obviously I care, but I was in a like frustrated mentality. So I was just walking. And so I was walking alongside the gators and I'm like, as I'm walking, they're like looking, they're like turning their head and but they're not fucking with me. And so I sat down on a rock and I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm just frustrated. So I'm like, fuck, man, there's got to be something I could do. So then I go, man, that show was cool, but it needed more. So then I started thinking, you know what it could have used? It could have used some cars and some like motorcycles or something. And then I was like, there's too many guys. Like, do we need to include makeup in this so we could bring more women to this? Because it was just a sausage fest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so then I'm like, you know what would have been cool too? Some tattoos and some fashion. And then I like funk music coming from Southern California. I like having some funk, old school music would have been cool, live up the mood a little bit. I like all the new stuff, don't get me wrong too, but sometimes you would just, old school R&B, all that just sits well with people. And so I started writing this down. I walked back to the truck and I'm just writing all this down. So then I go, what would you call an event like this? And then, so then I started writing different names. One of the names was Urban,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that. And so I got in my car, I left. So fast forward 4 years later, when I had came back from Louisiana or the southern Miami trip, I was sitting at home and my convention was coming up. So I brought all this to fruition, right? All these different brands and people and all this different cool stuff, right? and I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna expose a little secret that nobody knows. I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's kind of cool.
Here we go. Here we go.
But I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. So I was okay. So this is like 4 years later. When I came back from Louisiana, I had taken off my clothes in the garage, and I was just chilling at the crib. And so I didn't put none of my clothes away. So my convention was like a month away. When I'm like, it was called the West Coast Barber Lowrider Expo. That was the original name of Urban Con.
That's a long ass name.
Yeah, it didn't, and I knew it didn't fit. I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't right. I knew it didn't, fit, but wasn't thinking right. And so I'm like, something was telling me it's not gonna work. It's not
Yeah.
gonna work. It's not gonna work. It just I don't even like it. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do? So then my kids call me. I gotta run to the school to pick them up. So I put on my shorts that were in the garage to run out the house, get in the car, pick up my daughter, my
Oh shit.
daughters.
I think I know where this is going. I love
And
it.
as I put on my shorts, I'm backing out of the driveway and I feel something because I put my seatbelt, but I felt like crumples of paper. So I pull it out and I'm like halfway in the street like this, just chilling. And I feel, what the fuck is this? And I look, I said, oh shit, this is 4 years
Yes.
later. This is 4 years later. And I'm looking at the paper and I go, Urban, Urban Con. I pulled over. I called Kitty at the LA Convention Center and I said, Kitty, hey, how you doing? I said, hey, it's Kobian. Listen, I need to change the name of the convention. She goes, okay, what is it going to be called? I go, Urban Con. That's how that came about.
Damn, dude. That is amazing. That what a 4 years later. You know what I just heard? I just heard that you haven't washed your shorts in 4 years, bro. Pinche sucio.
They were in the garage. They were in the
Ah,
garage. I forgot all about
sucio.
them.
Lávate. No, what a great story though, bro.
But trip out on this. Here's what. So I created this thing called the block report.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. The block report was created so that I could bring customers to my business. I had a barber shop that was um, themed after my pomade. So I came up with the idea. I said, and this was Kix wasn't on here at the time. Kix was just somebody that would come to the barber shop
Yeah.
and he would go with my barbers. So now you got to rewind this 3 years before the first Urban Con. And so um I'm I was like, I had no business coming to my shop. So you gotta imagine, I have a barber shop making not no money. I got a brand that's not making any money. And I'm a full-time dad, and at the time I'm married, and you could imagine I'm already having financial issues.
Yeah.
It just go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I need to bring attention to my business. How? So then I said, you know what? Why don't everybody with podcasting started coming up like crazy. So then I said, what if I start interviewing people? I interview people, but like Chicano rappers,
Mhm.
because I know how to talk to other Chicanos, right? It's easier for me to communicate because I know what they're thinking, I know the culture, blah 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 blah,
Yeah,
right? But I'm a fan of it all. But I
absolutely.
just know how to approach. I'm nobody, and you'll more likely give me a shot before motherfucking, Snoop Dogg gives me a shot, right?
Absolutely.
So, all right, but I'm a fan of these people. So what I said, okay, I'm gonna create, I'm gonna create a podcast that's shot in my barbershop so that people will watch it and be like, where is that at? And then they'll come and visit me. Okay.
Absolutely.
So then I started watching Vice because I would always watch Vice. So I started watching how Vice films. Now I don't know how to work the camera at this point. So I'm learning how to do the video angles. I'm trying to do this. I don't like the stationary thing.
Yeah.
So that was a learning process in itself. And then my audio was fucked up because I'd pull the camera away and the sound would go in and out. So there was a lot of learning there. So then I said, So I started noticing we started getting attention. And I said, and then shortly thereafter, Kix came into the picture and then we started talking. And I said, hey, Kix, I need your help. So then I said, you know what, Kix? I got a great idea. I got this big convention I'm trying to put together. I don't have the money to give these people to perform.
Yeah.
I don't got it. I don't got it. It's just too much money. As it is, coughing up 25,000 just to get in the convention center was just the tip of the iceberg,
Bro,
right? I mean,
I've heard stories about how to throw events at LA convention. That's hundreds of thousands in insurance and
trust me,
deposit.
by the time it was said and done, I was in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
man. I
So,
know
so,
it's a big deal.
so check it out. So then I said, you know what, Cakes? I don't got money to give these people, but I need these people. He goes, so what are you thinking? I said, we're gonna befriend them. We're gonna make friends because then asking from a favor will get a yes versus coming as a promoter.
Yeah.
And so then I started doing all this stuff, started meeting people, and then I was just myself because I learned that people like you'll get further with a smile than you will with a frown.
Yeah.
And people just like genuine nice people. So I just said, hey guys, I started as I was shooting the blog report. I said, hey, I'm doing this big convention, and like you think you could just like I'll shoot your music video for free, or like can you just kind of like pop up, and sure enough, they came through.
There you go. Or you give them free haircuts.
A couple people did, and so but that was my secret, was that I created the barter system that I was taught, was here, let me do something for you, you do
Yeah,
something for me.
absolutely,
And
man.
then, but at this point, we were like on talking friendly terms. So
Mhm.
then it was easier to communicate with these individuals with
Yeah.
as if these other people, they don't know you. They're just like, it's 5,000, it's 8,000, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
10,000. Now I was like, hey, it's Kogan asking for a favor.
You know what's funny? It's like you're talking about. I think you and I have similar mentalities here because here I am. I came up with a product last year called Cholo on a Lolo. So it was kind of like Elf on a Shelf,
Right,
and I wanted it for us in our community. We don't have that. We don't have a product for our. I knew all these people that were even in our community were using the little Elf on the Shelf for the holidays. I was like, yo. I don't want to give my kids a little elf on the shelf. I want to give them something for us, so that here, shit. I and it's funny you say like you have to feel foolish. Here I am, this dude. I own a gym. I do all sorts of things, and here I am selling little toys, little monitos, right? And
right.
but it became so successful last year, and UrbanCon was actually a big contributor to this because so many people came to UrbanCon and saw this, and they saw it on their Instagram, and everybody was buying them. So because of your show, it really helped me out,
I
and
appreciate that.
yeah, and which means I got two more coming out. So there you go, Cholo
That's
Mouse
right.
and La Chismosa. But what I'm saying is,
That's beautiful. That's a
yeah,
good thing.
but because like I had trouble finding shows, that's what made me want to create Boulevard Connect, which was
Yeah.
a
Right,
platform to find vendors. I mean, to find events. I got
right.
tired of late night scrolling. To me, dude, I'm 49 years old, man. I ain't got time to late night scroll. I'm in bed by 9:30 because I wake up at 5 in the morning. I don't like scrolling on the phone before I go to bed. So I was like, I have to find a way to get event organizers to post their events and make it free for them. And now everybody could see it in order by date, by location. So kind of like what you did with the block report. You're like, I have to
Right,
get people to come to me. And that's why, I was like, and when I'm hearing you talking about that, I was like, dude, that's exactly what I did with Boulevard Connect, you know. So
right.
it's funny how things work out, you know what I'm saying? But I read something about you, your mentality of like, yeah, the LA Convention Center throwing events, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I heard you say, the money doesn't really matter to you. And I know it does. It does to a certain extent, but you don't want to live with that regret. You know what I'm saying?
So take for example the Urban Con that's coming up,
Yeah. On October 19th.
October 19th. It's free.
What?
It's free. I didn't charge in admission. It's completely free. and everybody looked at me like I was fucking nuts.
That's how I'm looking at you.
I'll make out in a different way, and that's for another time, right? But I'll make out in a different way.
Yeah,
But the thing is that for me is that you see the background that I come from, I like even for me just to be sitting in my pad in a nice home, just even doing this is to me is shocking. So the fact that I can even put this together, I'm actually more excited for it than other people because for me, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm really doing this.
nice.
So, so for me, I'm a fan. I'm just a fan of the reason it's just so successful, the reason it gets so much attention. I can put on a big show, pack it out, and I have one headliner, and everybody's scratching their head, booking this artist, booking that artist, putting this and putting that. And they go, how the fuck does Kobian not book a fucking major fucking artist and fucking packs it out? Because I don't know. Maybe God gave me destiny. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know God put this vision in my head, in my mind, in my heart. And so I don't really have the answer to that, but I'm just a fan of the culture. So when I put these things together, it's what I don't go off of what everybody else likes. I go off of what I like.
I think
And
that's your superpower right there. That's your superpower is that you are a fan. And as a fan, this is what you want to see.
this is
And
what I want to
because,
see.
yeah, and because you are one of the members of this community, and we all kind of think alike, you know what I'm saying? We all have that same
Mhm.
mentality of wanting to see certain things, you know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
All
I agree.
together in one spot. That's what you're doing. You're putting something together for yourself, but that translates to everybody else in our culture, in our community.
And I agree to that. And I agree to that. And like I said, like it's like one of those like when I had a business at the barbershop business, right? I remember thinking to myself, I made it really, really nice. And I didn't care what people thought. I made it for me because
Yeah,
I was the one that was gonna be there all day.
absolutely.
And the reason, and I would tell my barbers this, I go, listen, I'm not gonna accommodate everybody because I can't. So they have to accommodate themselves to me. If they don't like this establishment, they are more than welcome to go to the next establishment. So you don't make it to try to cater it to the rest of the world,
No.
cater to your liking.
Exactly. And hey, and if you're surrounded by good people, they're gonna like it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's kind of like hot Cheetos, right?
yeah,
A lot of people love hot Cheetos,
absolutely.
but a lot of people don't like hot Cheetos. Does that mean that it's a terrible product? Of course
No,
it's not.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So don't cater to everybody. Just cater to what you like, and the people who like what you like will come around. There's a lot of people on this earth. Trust me, there's gonna be at least 100 people
Yeah.
that are gonna like what you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me tell you so what I like, bro. I not that I like, I love Urban Con. I'm looking forward
That's
to it.
crazy.
October 19th in your hometown of Santa Ana. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that's what even made me even see. At first I was selling tickets, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I was cruising through Santa Ana because I will always go to Santa Ana. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm gonna cruise by. I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Miami. I've been all over the fucking place. I will always go back to Santa Ana. I don't know why. I just do.
Mhm.
And there's certain streets I park and I just have my lunch and I just sit down. And I think I get off the curb and I sit down on the curb. I mean, I get off the car and sit on the curb or whatever. And so I was sitting there and I was walking and I was watching the kids play handball. They're playing handball. I was kicking back in front of my elementary school and I was sitting there watching them play handball. And I was like, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I'll trip out, like, just watching them play and have fun. And as I was watching the kids have fun, I was like, you know what? Yeah, yeah, go ahead. As I was watching the everybody just having a good time, just that innocence,
Yeah.
I was remembering, I go, you know what? I'm getting I'm getting too sucked up into like this business model. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I go, and I go, and what the fuck am I doing? I go, I, make this motherfucker free, have fun, have a good time. And then I said, you know what? I'm fucking up. I go, you know what? How am I gonna do something in my city and not give away something? So then I hooked up with Waymakers, a charity that help out adolescent children that have things going on. Um, and then I hooked up with um this other one called God, I just set up with them today. My Meridian Futures. And
Okay.
Meridian Futures is another charity organization that I hooked up with that's helps battered the women of domestic violence
Okay.
and they have, you know, children. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, oddly enough, that I happened to put this event together because October is Domestic Violence Awareness
Yeah,
Month.
it is.
And so by bringing these things together, I said, we'll give here, we'll give there, we'll make it free, we'll make a community event, we'll bring children, we'll give this, we'll give that, and I'll bring all the entertainment, I'll bring all the people, and let's just have a good time because don't overcomplicate everything. Keep it simple, at
That's
least in my
amazing.
opinion.
That's a great cause. That's a great cause. You're doing good things, man, and you're earning your wings. Tell me, what can we expect at this year's Urban Con?
So I never repeat the same formula,
Okay.
but I will always add to the formula.
Nice. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to. I knew it.
So, so, so one of the things that I wanted to add to this one was okay, so I'm a big fan of funk music, right?
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
And at every event I've had, I always have funk freaks there. But where I've messed up in the past was not giving funk freaks the opportunity to be the powerhouse they are. Let people enjoy who they are. That's some people come for them. And the way I've used them in the past on stage where they're working with the other artists kind of robs the people of, hey, I'm here for funk freaks, but I'm not getting the funk.
Mhm.
So what I did was the inside of the Union Hall where this event will be, it's a big location, big venue. That whole inside of it will be a nightclub
Nah.
where it's all funk
So,
free.
so I got to bring some extra people to take care of my booth while I go to the nightclub.
It's a nightclub inside. It's inside
Hell
the
yeah.
nightclub. So it's you know it's party in the front and party in the back. You know,
Hell
there's
yeah.
no business in the front. It's all part. It's meant to be a good time. And see,
Hell
people pay big money to hang out, go kick it.
yeah, dude.
So to say, hey, you come kick it at Funk Freaks Party Jam nightclub. There's a name that we have for it. I'm not giving it out just yet. Um, it's like, whoa, I get to just like get a club feel on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because the inside is gonna be decked out like a nightclub.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be packed and
Hell yeah,
dancing.
dude. I'm looking forward to it.
Outside, you're still gonna have PCW Ultra bringing the wrestling. You're gonna have the barbers. There's gonna be some added things. Like I said, there's gonna be some added surprises that I brought. Um, and you know, like I said, the main thing for me is, and you know, I reached out. There's a lot of gangs in Santa Ana,
Mhm.
and I went down there and I talked to a lot of these gang members, and I said, look, this is what's going on. Um, there's gonna be a lot of rival gangs there,
Oh shit.
and I go, but I talked to them and I told them what was going on, and they were all in agreement. They're like, okay, let's just have a good time,
And it is a family event, right?
family
There
event.
you go. That's the reason why,
It's
you know.
open to it's open to the community, and the reason I bring that up is because those the you know gangs are a part
Of
of
LA culture.
culture,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna beat them, and you're not gonna get them out. You're not, you know, and we can go back and forth on gang culture all day. I personally, I depending on your stance. Okay, now and I'm not saying gangs are good,
Mm.
but I know why people become gang members or why it was created in the first place. It had nothing to do with um trying to be the biggest and baddest. It
No.
literally was just like, hey, like we grew up here and this is, and it like a protection type deal. And then innocently enough, it starts with just a group of kids hanging out at school,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and
Acceptance, community, wanting to belong to something.
that's it. And and we can go back and forth with this all day long.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm not saying, but the reason I bring that up is because I said, listen, I everybody's welcome. This
yeah,
is not
absolutely.
and this is not and a lot of times people say they try to put into the urban con as like this Latino movement, Chicano movement thing. I try to steer away from that because it's for everybody. It's not meant to be um Fiesta Fest or Brown Fest 2024. It's meant
Yeah.
to be a cultural unity thing
And a welcoming community.
and a welcome thing. And because, like for example, if you go to LA, there's Koreatown.
Yeah,
There's you got the Salvadorian areas, you got your Mexican areas, you got your Asian areas, you got your Armenian areas, and every single one of those areas has a beauty to it that we all can appreciate.
yeah,
Whether it's anime, whether it's a donut, whether it's a taco, it doesn't matter. Hummus, refried beans, either way, we all love it. So Urban Con is meant to be an everything, an everybody thing. And when I say it, the reason I steer away from calling it like a Chicano movement
uh-huh.
because I'm I'm one of those people that really embrace the Chicano culture. I'm really proud of it. I love it. It's who I am. It's how I identify myself as that. You ask me if I'm Mexican, I'm gonna tell you I'm Chicano,
Yeah,
you know? So I'm really, really embracive of it. Okay. Very, very supportive of it. But I just what I try to do was like, hey, let me give my people a spot on the spotlight to shine, but I'm sharing it with everybody else. And this is how we grow. See, because
absolutely.
if we just have us
Yeah,
spotlighting us,
yeah,
then it doesn't get past us. But
yeah,
if you put us with others and more, and this person and this brown and this people, and then what happens is somebody in the audience goes, "Whoa, that's cool,"
exactly. No, no, no. No,
and that's how you grow. At
no,
least,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny you say that. Me and my family, we travel and we've been taking our kids to all sorts of different countries all their lives, our kids, and they visited maybe like 20 countries by now, but I tell them the reason why we travel so much because I want you to see how other people live their lives. I want you to have empathy. I want you to learn to be welcoming to other people. Just because they may not look like you or talk like you or dress like you, it doesn't mean they don't hurt, love, or cry just like you. So yeah,
exactly. And
yeah.
I think one of the biggest issues is like, and there's nothing wrong with being pro your people,
No,
okay?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There's nothing wrong with like how BET, right? They go real black actors. I think
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
one of their sayings. Um, people with, that are hardcore about their cultures or are white or Asian or Jewish, whatever the case is. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, no.
But I think if we don't share
Yeah, I like
our
that.
cultures
Yeah,
and our spotlight with other people,
absolutely.
then we literally put ourselves in this box,
Yeah.
and
And
then
it gives other people a chance to understand who we are and why we like lowriders,
right,
why we do what we do, why we listen to what we listen. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you're absolutely right. That's great. Kobe, dude, what a great conversation. I was thinking, we're only going to talk around 30 minutes. Now we went a little bit longer, but I enjoyed every single second of this, man. I really enjoy. I feel like I need to talk a lot more to you about so many different things, man. Because honestly, I like I said, I did a lot of research on you. I was watching interviews, and you are very business minded, but you learned the hard way. You learn by doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really appreciate. I'd love to get you back on and just talk business. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm glad. I'm so happy and I'm so honored that you came on. I'm looking forward to UrbanCon on October 19th in Santa Ana. All the information is what's the website of UrbanCon? UrbanCon.com.
So no, no,
Don't tell me
actually,
it's that West Coast Barber Lowrider.
uh, it's Urban Con with a K.
Uh-huh.
I made it. So it's Urban Con with a K. Like what was it? Kim Kardashian, Kim with a K. What was that? What is it? It's Urban Con with a K for Kobian. Um, but to be quite frank with you, the website is not up.
Okay,
Um,
okay. But you
and
can, but if people want more information, where do they go?
just Instagram.
Just Instagram. Okay.
Instagram. Yeah, again, I didn't overcomplicate a thing because see, like, like I have a lot of friends that make like they do events and they'll make like they don't want to go through Eventbrite. So
Yeah.
they try to make their own stuff so that people can you know, purchase and they get their money. I
Yeah.
get it. I believe me, I get it. But in my opinion, when you do things like that, it makes people feel like I don't want to put my card information in that.
Okay.
And then and then websites is like, I'd rather go to the Instagram. I want to see, and then because I don't want to disconnect from what I was scrolling through. I just want to find you real quick, see what's going on. And so again, I try to keep it very simple and convenient. And it's easier
Okay.
to go to a page on IG than it is for you to get off and go through Google and go look for
Okay.
my website and look for all that.
Well, if anybody wants more information, they can go over to boulevardconnect.com and find it on the app on October
Oh,
19th,
that's
so
dope.
you'll be able to find it. It's already up there. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put you as one of the I'm gonna give you a little paid spot of the sponsorship. I'm gonna put your UrbanCon link right there. So it's on the front page. So everybody will see it. And all they have to do is
Can you
click.
tell me a little bit about the app? Like, how does that, like, like, can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's Boulevard Connect. I made it because I wanted something easier for our community. There's really no organization to our community, but not just LA. I wanted to make something that was all over America because there's lowrider shows in Denver. There's lowrider shows in Colorado, in Miami, in Chicago, in New York. There was a
Right,
big event this past weekend, and you can't really go to Google and say, "Hey, I want to find a classic car show. I want to find an urban con." You know what? The Google doesn't find our events for us. So
right.
I wanted to find a place where, as a vendor, if I'm looking for an event, they're all right there. As an event organizer, if you want to get your event in front of everybody around the country, you could load it up there for free. If you want to sell your car, if you want to rent your car for photo shoots, whatever, if you want to find a model,
Dope. That's
if you want
dope.
to find a photographer, it's all there and it's all for free. So, I wanted to do it for the community and make it, honestly, again, make it easier for myself to find events. And now I think we already hit over 700 events already. So, yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well, congratulations.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a lot of fun and it gives me a chance to talk to people like you. So I appreciate it, Kobe. Thanks so much for coming on, man. Everybody, UrbanCon, October 19th. If you want more information, go to their Instagram, UrbanCon, or go to Boulevard Connect and go to October 19th, and you'll be able to find the event right there. And from what I just learned, it's free. So you can go. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses. So I'm looking forward to this event, guys. Trust me when I say this is one of the baddest events of the year in Los Angeles. I cannot wait for it. I'm looking forward to it. Kobe, thank you so much for coming on board. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I
My name
appreciate
is Mike Lopez, and this is Boulevard Connect. Remember, the only website dedicated to everything cars, culture, and community. We appreciate you watching, and thank you very much. Take care, guys.
it. Peace.